welcome back to Leaping Lotus Tarot. My name is Addison. I'm going to go ahead and do a Leo reading today. I wanted to go ahead and get started right away with an oracle deck. This is my Citadel oracle deck. I haven't used them in a while, but it's like super gorgeous and I'm really excited. So I wanted to get started with the oracle because I feel like there's going to be a couple people that are going to be best described like right out the gates with this deck. The poet, yeah, that's a very specific type of person, and so I wanted to be able to jump right in with the reading and be able to speak to these particular people just like right away. So with the poet, we have relationships and vulnerability. So Leo, you may be going through something right now in regards to relationships. Maybe you are a poet, maybe you're dealing with a poet. It doesn't just have to be poetry. Poetry can also be through singing, right? Could be through expressing yourself through song. You could be a poet with writing too, right? Poetry is not just writing poems. It's singing songs, it's writing music, it's expressing yourself through an art that is it's through words though, okay? So there's something about it with like the words. But relationships and vulnerability. So you may find in this situation as well that you're dealing with that through words you are communicating your vulnerability, or or that's how like you're expressing yourself in some way, like you're not able to maybe emotionally say things in the most vulnerable way, but you're able to express yourself and it comes out through either your music or your writing or something like that. Let's see who this poet is dealing with. Who is the poets? The poet. I said the poets. Interesting. Maybe the other person is going to be artistic as well. Maybe this is two artsy kind of people. Who's the other person that the poet is dealing with? We've got the brawler. Ooh. Lack of empathy, confrontation. Wow. So there could be a situation you're dealing with where somebody is trying to express their emotions, their vulnerable side, and it's being received with basically somebody who just doesn't care. Maybe somebody who's not listening very well, somebody who's not afraid to kind of push back a little bit. Interesting. I'm feeling called to maybe pull one more. Because originally when I was thinking about this reading, I was like, I feel like there's multiple people that need to come through, and that's why I wanted to start with the oracle, because I wanted to really hone in on who these people are. So let's just go ahead and see if there's any more people that want to come out that we can expand upon into the tarot. And today for the tarot, I've got the Wee Moon tarot deck, also another very beautiful deck that I'm excited to be able to build this story that hopefully relates for some people. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else want to come through and say anything that... Okay, the Walker. So this is not a person. The unknown, a journey. So the poet and the brawler may be going on a journey together, which is interesting. There's such a negative connotation here with this with this brawler card. It's also unique too. There's this little, I don't know if the lighting's gonna get it. See how there's an upward triangle here for the poet, and there's a downward triangle here for the brawler. I'm gonna go ahead and look real quick. I'm gonna have to probably splice this video here in order to look into this Citadel instructional booklet, and I'm gonna see what those up and down arrow means, because I think that might be significant to this message, and so I will go ahead and do that for you guys real quick. Also, in addition to that, the Walker, the journey here, there's a downward arrow with like a little split in it, so I will go ahead and get clarity on all three of those for you guys, and I will be right back. I am so glad that I looked to see what those mean, and that I'm actually going to read out of this for you guys, like deeper into these meanings, because it totally is relevant. And it actually kind of totally hits on what I was talking about too. So the upright, the poet, that upward triangle, that is symbolic of the court, and the court is achievement and responsibility. The brawler, the downward arrow, is the troop, which is internal thoughts and identity. So the brawler may not actually be a person that you're dealing with. It may be the internal aspect of the self that you're dealing with in order to kind of move into this new this new destination of the walker journey, right? The unknown, a journey. And that is the crowd, community, and hard work. So that may be kind of what's holding you back here on this journey. But what's interesting is that I was kind of saying that you may be dealing with a person that's kind of, you're not able to feel kind of fully open and vulnerable with yet. That's possible, but the poet also says relationships. So I'm going to go ahead and read real quick for the poet. It says, music, laughter, the swirl of beautiful dresses. Tonight is a night free from care and the troubles of the outside world. So remember how I said that right out of the gates, I was like, you know, just because it's a poet doesn't mean it's like poetry. It could be music, right? So right out the gate, music, I think, is probably speaking to some people. Here as well, dancing. I didn't even think of dancing. Amongst the dancers, a single figure draws the attention of everyone present. A flash of embroidered silk, the wave of a hand, a voice as clear as a bell. The poet is life itself, pure and undiluted. Instantly in love with every new person they meet, they are drawn to people just as people are drawn to them. A sonnet ready for every new spark of love. Ooh, just gotta chill. There is love on the horizon, and it's up to you to embrace it. Whatever your hesitations, it's time to accept the heart-pounding, tumbling chaos that is opening yourself up to another. Write poems, find your song. Love is a creative work. Be your imaginative, authentic self, and let other like-minded people flock to you. This is when you'll experience true happiness. Oh my gosh, total chills. This is gorgeous. I love where this reading is going already. Let's go ahead and talk about the brawler real quick, which is that mindset I think that we were wanting to get into a little bit. So, oh, I'm sorry. We're going to read the walker, I guess, real quick first. That's page 116. And then we'll get into the brawler. We're going to see what the journey is, and we're going to see what battles then afterwards you're going to have to face to kind of go on this journey. So let's talk about the journey. All right. The walker. Like their sibling, the pilgrim, the walker is bound to an eternity of journeys. The walker constantly seeks new experiences and the unknowing nature of transition. An air of sadness ever on their heels, whatever they're searching for or whatever they're running from, they haven't yet found their answer. So remember how I was saying that could be a person too. So this almost doesn't really feel like the poet, because the poet feels like a very sort of whimsical person, a lighthearted person, somebody open to love, the excitement of love, falling in love with almost every person they meet because they see in other people the true beauty of them, because they have a self-love. They see the beauty within themselves, and so they can therefore see the beauty in other people. So they may be kind of still having some bits of that mentality from maybe their past of like feeling maybe not worthy, but I get the impression that maybe they're finding somebody who perhaps is going through that they went through before, and they're able to kind of show that person, kind of lead by example, leading, dancing, very symbolic. So to continue with this, we've got another paragraph here. A sense of regret seems to be coloring everything lately, sucking away the joy of the journey. Perhaps you've been forced to leave something behind in order to move forward, or maybe it's the result of circumstances beyond your control. Whatever it is, this pain is necessary to a point. Rather than wallowing in this self-punishment, shed that regret and move on. Perfect transition into the brawler, which is that mindset that we were talking about, right? About how that needs to be overcome. So let's see the brawler. Lack of empathy, confrontation, page 122. All right, the brawler. Night falls thick and dark across the streets, but not all are sleeping. The doors of the music hall pour light and warmth into the courtyard, and revelers tumble, drunk and rowdy, after them. A spilled drink. So it sounds like there's like a party going on. I don't know if you're just at a party. I mean, Halloween wasn't that long ago. You may be resonating with this. A spilled drink, a sharp word, and a fight breaks out, and the brawler is once again standing with fists raised, ready to fight their corner, set on showing the whole world that they don't care what people think of them. The brawler invites confrontations wherever they go. Quick with a brash retort and ready fist, their bullheaded manner makes only enemies, never friends. You won't be able to move forward until a current conflict is resolved. Whether you're in the right or not, take a moment to step back and consider things from an alternate point of view. Entering a situation with your fists raised won't resolve things. Exercise a little empathy and plan out a way to address the matter on neutral ground. Accept this chance to improve yourself without carrying forward any malice towards others. Wow. All All right, let's jump into the tarot right with that, okay? I need to get clarity on this brawler, if it's a mindset or if it's a different person. I'm kind of getting with that description. This seems like the poet and the brawler are like different people. I don't know. Let's just ask the tarot, okay? Tell me more about this brawler. Is it a mindset? Is it a person? Who is this? Who's the brawler? Eight of Air reversed, Eight of Swords, Goddess Consciousness Rising. Interesting. So Eight of Air, Eight of Swords is the woman on the beach, right? Tied up, not feeling completely able to move forward, which would kind of make sense, but we're reversed here. But the name of this card is Goddess Consciousness Rising. So, but that's, I mean, it's not really the name of the card, it's the name of the artwork, okay? So this artwork that is in this tarot deck is from women over like 50 years, all different kinds of women, so it's really beautiful in that way. In this particular imagery, it's kind of interesting because there is sort of like the head of a horse here, and there's like a battle axe, so it's kind of working here with our story, right? So it's almost like somebody, it reminds me of like a chess piece almost as well. It's almost like there's somebody who's like very strategic and a bit of like a battle sort of energy, which would make sense with that brawler. But it's seeming like with it being Eight of Swords reversed, they're wanting to come out of that restriction. And that was the advice as well for that card, right? To kind of try to step back and take a look at things from a different perspective and not being so aggressive and just confrontational overall. Tell me a little bit more about the brawler. I like knowing that their consciousness is rising and they're kind of realizing that that's not an ideal way to approach life, essentially. Two of Cups, water is love. So I'm not really sure if this was, the way I kind of grabbed it, it could have been reversed, but since it kind of came out upright, I'm sort of going to go with like a sideways interpretation here, to be completely fair. Two of Cups upright, water is love. Normally like a harmony and union card, a relationship, a compatibility. A little bit sideways are going to take it here, right? So I really almost think that this brawler person, this aggressive, competitive, really kind of keeping to their self sort of person, almost like stumbles in at like a party or something with this poet who sees the beauty in every person and is able to fall in love with them, is able to see, it's like, I see you as a brawler, right? Like I see you who you are, but there's a beauty in that because I know that you're not able to fully express yourself in the way that's in your most divine light, but I still see you, I still love you, right? This is gorgeous. Okay. Any final thing about the brawler before we get to the poet? Because I can feel like the poet is just itching to spread their wisdom, spread their beautiful mentality. Five of Air, Five of Swords, inspiration. I've never seen this card before, so I'm kind of taking it in for a moment. There's like this almost feline looking human with like a forest in their mind. It's like a little fairy in her mind in the forest, and it's like spooning another little fairy. I don't know if you can see it there, but she's playing this cello. So we've got the instrument aspect again. A bird sort of like flying out. I mean, this is a really deep interpretation here. So maybe with the instruments, maybe someone plays the cello, violin, viola. Maybe this brawler is a musician. Remember I said in the beginning, I said poets, like poets slipped out. I'm like, maybe both of these people are artistic. Maybe this poet sees this brawler even like playing music. Maybe this is a really hard-headed, cold kind of person, but the only way they can express themselves, kind of I said earlier, is like through music. And so maybe they see this person playing music and they fall in love, like, oh my gosh, who is this deep and complex soul here that is able to speak such a deep, profound part of themselves, but is not presenting that self to the world. Five of Air is Five of Swords. Five of Swords is that imagery of that person being on the beach, kind of holding a sword and watching other people kind of walk off and sort of give up or whatever. Maybe this person has felt like people have given up on them. They might have like this sort of cold and brash attitude, or maybe they're just not warm in general. People don't really want to be around them, or they just kind of have a negative sort of vibe to them, even though that's not really who they are, I don't think. I think they're a very beautiful musical soul, but they just have really difficult time expressing themselves in the way that they genuinely mean to. This poet, we're going to get talking about them in a second here, sees past it. But this is really exciting. So people might have really sort of given up before on this brawler, and maybe it's left them bitter. Tell me about the poet. Oh, I gotta know about this poet. Who is the poet? What does the poet need to say? What does the poet have to say about the brawler? Let's ask that more specifically. What does the poet want to say about the brawler? What do they see in the brawler? 8 of Fire, activism. So they see a fiery person, right? They see somebody who's, you know, expressive, maybe not in always the right ways. 8 of Fire is like 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is a very fast-moving energy, which could kind of make sense if somebody's quick to just be kind of brash or kind of like just say stuff. That could make sense, like how they see them as a very like forward sort of hot energy. A Leo is a fire sign as well, right? We're speaking to Leo in this reading, so somebody here may just be really hot and kind of have that sort of fiery sort of temper and sort of demeanor to them. So that's, I asked for clarity of like, what does the poet see in the brawler? So they see that fieriness in them. What else? What else? 10 of Earth, Mother Earth, 10 of Pentacles. What this poet sees in this brawler is so much more than what they see in themselves. They see the potential of everything with this person. And I don't know if they see it with them or if they just see it for them, because they see it for everybody, remember, right? They fall in love almost with everybody. So they just see the potential and the beauty and like the power in this person. But do they see it with them? Because remember, this is a relationships. Do they see themselves with this brawler? Do they? Moon time, water, Amazon daughter. And it was kind of reversed. How I'm going to take this particular card is, well, moon can kind of be like illusion and intuition, right? And it's reversed. But if you look at the kind of like the imagery here on this card, it's like this woman with like this hat, and she's sort of not, she's not like making eye contact or anything like that. She's sitting on the moon, sort of like in a contemplative sort of vibe. It was reversed though. So it's kind of like, I'm sort of getting that this, you know, the feminine energy here, which is sort of what I'm getting, the poet knows this about herself, knows the fact that she tends to fall in love with everybody. I don't think she's like irrational about it. Like, I think she's very logical. Seems like she has a very sort of realistic mind about this type of thing. With the moon, you know, like she knows that things can be an illusion when you're just such an emotional, present person who accepts the beauty in everyone. But it's like she sort of knows that this could be more than that. So tell me more. Tell me more about the relationship between these two. Because remember, we sort of had that 2 of Cups sort of vibe come out with the brawler. So there's something I feel like here that's connecting them in some sort of emotional... Ooh, I can't show this card. I don't think that YouTube would like it. But it's 9 of Water, 9 of Cups, and it's called Beloved. And it's sort of a image of a very feminine organ. I'm almost kind of getting that there is a bit of a sexual vibe here, Beloved. It's like, I almost think that this brawler, I hate calling him a brawler. I want to get, I would like to get like a better name for this masculine, like a king of something, or like, you know what I mean? Let's go ahead and actually grab a traditional tarot real quick, because I do want to call them something other than the brawler. It just seems so negative. And I really don't think that this poet really sees them in that way. So Beloved, I mean, they see them perhaps as their beloved, and we had that 2 of Cups vibe, okay? And, you know, remember with that 5 of Air too, is like inspiration, right? So there is a lot of hope Ten of Pentacles came out. There is a lot. I really want to play off of that positivity of like how they view this connection. Nine of Cups as well. I didn't really talk about that actual card itself, but that's a very living in the moment, prosperous, grateful, realizing what all of they have around them and being appreciative of that. Can we get who this brawler is in like a we had like a Seven of Swords sideways. I don't love that. There really is sort of like a lack of empathy here. Who else is this brawler? Oh my gosh. Okay. We had an Emperor just come out. This is so crazy that somebody who could be perceived in such a negative light and have so much that they still need to work on, being an Emperor, that is like the most powerful masculine card. It's a major arcana in the tarot deck. And so it's just wild to me that we have like this sort of Seven of Swords sideways energy coming out. We also have Ace of Pentacles coming out, in tandem with this Emperor card. So I'm going to call him the Emperor. This brawler is the Emperor. This is wild to me. The potential of this connection, or just for this Emperor in general, is huge. I mean, the universe is on their side. This universe is handing them a pentacle. The poet is wanting to hand them 10 pentacles, it seems like. We had one more card come out. Wow, Ace of Wands. And we had that Nine of Cups that I told you with Beloved that had that very sort of sexual imagery. This person, there is a future. There is a beautiful, financially abundant, romantically abundant potential here for this person that has, the poet who has such a beautiful, beautiful energy. It's almost like the poet is so loving. It's almost like too loving. And then the brawler is almost like too lack of empathy. And it's like maybe like the blending of them together kind of brings the poet sort of down to earth a little bit and brings the brawler a little bit up to the heavens. And they kind of balance each other out in that way. This could be a really powerful duo. We do have to keep in mind the whole Walker card, though. We haven't even addressed that. That's the unknown. That's the journey. So let's go ahead and go there. Let's talk about the Walker, the unknown, the journey. What's the journey between these two that's going to lead them to the Ten of Pentacles? What is this? Ooh. Five of Waters, Five of Cups. Deep grief. But here we see this woman bowing, surrendering. A lotus flower coming up through her back, the honeycombs of the bee, the transitions of the moon. Somebody really has to put the past, the things that have happened to them in the past. That's part of this journey here. It's probably the brawler, would be my guess. I think the poets kind of come to terms with their history a little bit more. But that has got to be put aside in order for them to go on the journey. That's a big part of this healing process. But we've got Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. I mean, what else about this journey? What else? Two of Air, dialogue. Oh, I haven't seen this card before either. These two beautiful African-American women here. They're angels. And the title of this is If Only Over a Cuppa. Two of Swords. I'm not sure if I said Two of Swords or not. Two of Swords is traditionally a indecisive kind of energy. So there may be an indecisiveness about to move forward with this connection because they are so different, right? These people are so different. But what is so gorgeous about this card, this reading's kind of actually getting me a little emotional. I feel like a little bit of tears behind my eyes. What's so beautiful is these women here are talking over a cup of coffee. They're angels. Oh my gosh. Can you see my eyes getting red? The poet and the brawler are both so different, yet so equally beautiful and the same. And that's what's so amazing about sorry, I just had a notification come up. I got a little distracted there. What's so beautiful is they're so different, but yet they're so the same. They are both the divine light of God. They are both these angels who just need to kind of talk over a cup of coffee. The brawler doesn't need to be confrontational. He doesn't need to feel like everything is an attack. I'm saying he just because I sort of get a masculine vibe from the card, and the poet feels very much feminine. Could be, you know, genders could be interchanged here, but I'm just going to roll with he, she for the ease of communicating this story here. So there could be an indecisiveness about this connection, but I think if these two just keep talking it out, and they keep kind of keeps working through the grief that he's been through, that there's going to be a resolve here. And it's, tell me about the potential of this connection. We saw 10 of Pentacles, but I feel like there's something else more to know about this journey. Gift of life, aloha, water, crone sage. And there's these little fish here in the water, and it's like a little present. So water can represent emotion, right? And it's like the fish is giving a gift to the other fish. It's almost like somebody's giving, it's like maybe this poet is giving this this emperor the gift of love, the gift of emotion. And I said, like, I said, we know that 10 of Pentacles is going to happen, like, but what's going to, like, come of this connection if they're able to actually sit down and have that dialogue, and fully embrace the beauty of their authenticity in that, but also the fact that, you know, the emperor needs to see him. I mean, he is an emperor. It's like he almost needs to see himself the way the poet sees him, or that the way the divine sees him, right? Both of these are divine. This is the divine handing somebody love and abundance in finances and in emotion. It's like the universe sees, just like this poet sees, the beauty in this emperor, the potential in this emperor. Like, he is not defined by his negativity or his bad mental thoughts. That is not like what the universe feels like. And gift of life, aloha, like hello, like the welcoming of gift of life. And we also had that 9 of Cups that I told you had the beloved card, and it was the female organ, right? So I'm almost getting that they may have a family together. Like, there may be kids in the future for this connection. We had one more come out. Hermit, wisdom. We got this owl here. The poet could be a Virgo with the hermit energy, but there is a deep, deep wisdom here about the truth of this connection and where it could really go. And I think that's it's embraced in this journey here, but it's known by the poet and it's known by the divine. Oh, I'm trying to decide how I want to, is the emperor, because the potential here is just unbelievable. Is the emperor going to see his worth here? Is he going to recognize what the divine sees in him and what this poet sees in him? Will he see it too? Oh my gosh, 9 of Swords. This is really hard for him. He has a lot of stuff that he needs to put away still. Remember that deep grief card. Yeah, this is a really hard one for him. Will he see it? And it seems like maybe it'll take time. Any clarification on the 9 of Swords? Page of Cups. He really has to be open to starting over with love. And it's probably somebody that broke his heart in the past. So it's, I don't know if he's really still hung up on the ex. Let's see, is he hung up on an ex? Is it the Hermit? I don't think he's hung up on the ex. I think he is focused here. We've got the Hermit that came out twice. I do think this poet might be a Virgo, potentially, or at least has Virgo energy, a very earthy, sort of grounded person, despite how much cup energy and love energy they have. I don't think he's hung up on the ex. I think he's focused on his Virgo or his Hermit, or this this very internally wise poet energy. But he has to be open to that new beginning of love. He does have to be open to that. I think he is. Any final things that we need to know about the Emperor? Like, we're gonna ask the Tarot. 5 of Pentacles. This may still take a little while. This may still take a little while. Is there anything we can find out from the Oracle about timing? Or like, we have the Assassin, ruthlessness and conviction. And we have the Muse. It was kind of, it's reversed though, and there are reversals in this Oracle. The Muse, generosity and naivete, but it's reversed. This Emperor has lived life. This may be an older person. They have been jaded a little bit by people, what people have done to them. I don't want to say they're like a victim card a little bit, but we kind of do have a little bit of a victim perhaps mentality with this Five of Pentacles. Somebody did them wrong, and they don't want to be caught in delusion or illusion by the seductions even of the poet, because they see this as a very sexual, beautiful, loving person, and that's so different from them that it's almost like, I don't think that they view it as inauthentic. I do think that they view them as who they are in that way. I don't think they view it as naive, but they themselves just don't want to be caught in naive energy by, they just really have to be open to that love, right? That Page of Cups, they really have, that's where they have to step into. They have to release the deep grief. They have to release the Nine of Swords in order to be able to move in. And with the Assassin, what I'm getting with this is not the negativity so much of like that we have with the Brawler card, but it says ruthlessness and conviction. They have to be ruthlessly convicted and driven and dedicated to the decision of moving forward with this sort of hermit, poet, wise person, right? That's what they have to do. They have to really decide that. I keep wanting to know, are they going to decide it? Are they going to decide it? And anytime I've like asked, like, are they, do they figure it out? I think they do, but they have to go through that first. They have to go through the releasing of that grief. All right, let's see if there's any final things that want to come out for the tarot, but the Wee Moon Tarot. Ace of Cups. Water is life. Something about water here too. We don't have any journey cards about anyone needing to move or anything, but maybe somebody lives by the water, or they want to live by the water. But here we have, so we've got the Ace of Water, the Ace of Cups, we've got the Ace of Wands, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. The divine is so very much on their side. And by they, I mean the Brawler. But I think since this poet believes in them too, I feel like the poet, like this hermit, is teaming up with the divine, with God, call it God, call it the universe, whatever, with the divine, the higher power, to help bring this beautiful person that I was almost crying over because of how much they do not see how beautiful they really are. They're being called by the universe and the poet to really be given the gift of love in the cup, right? Given the gift of passion with the wands, given the gift of finance with the pentacles. And then the last card we got out was Air Priestess Mother, calling in the directions. Remember how I just said how maybe somebody needs to move to the water, or like they want to be around the water, and I'm like, oh, we don't have any travel cards. But look at this imagery. We've got this Indian woman sort of looking off into the sunset over this body of water. Wow, I just got chills. The universe is calling them in to make the decision for themselves that they want to set on this unknown, this journey with the Walker card here, to really embrace all of the abundance, the Ten of Pentacles, the everything that that they so desire and so deserve in this life, to be able to move forward with it passionately, activate their life that we had earlier with that Eight of Wands, to not be in fear of creating something, even perhaps a family. This was absolutely gorgeous. Wow, I absolutely love that reading. It was a little bit long, but I think it was worth it. This was really fun going through all of these decks. I'm feeling really inspired right now. Maybe I'll go ahead and do a general message for people. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Leo, for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.